Hi, everyone. Welcome to Left Undone Incomplete Investigations. I'm Kathy. Welcome back to Saturday Lives. We have returned because our friend, or foe, Lori Vallow, has been back on trial starting Monday. Hey, Lindsay, how are you? Nice to see you. Good to see you. So, as you guys come in, please say hello in the chat. There's our friend Lindsay. Thank you for being here. I'm Kathy if you're new. Left Undone Incomplete Investigations is my channel for like 6 years almost now. And first case, hi Jess Sage, hello. The first case I started following was this case, and boy, it has been a whopper. So there is today, I wanted to talk about the Arizona family interview that Lori did that was posted last night or this morning. And I was over on Kresha, hey Kresha's channel a little while ago watching, hey Amber, and they kept blanking her out. And even though it clearly is within reason to put commentary, the fair use, policy, I think I can put it in here. Hold on one second. Let me paste it. Let's see. This is YouTube's fair use. Under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976, allowance is made for fair use for the purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, research. Fair use is permitted by copyright statutes that might otherwise be infringing nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips and the balance of favor of fair use. I would say it's commentary, what I want to do. So I don't know if I start playing it and commenting on it, if we're going to get booted too. I'm not sure why Kresha was getting booted, but I'm on the fence if I should actually play it and comment or not. What do you guys think? Try it and see. So, hi Gayla, nice to see you. I'm gonna have to move this so I can read the chat. I am pretty good. How are you? So anyway, Lori goes to trial on Monday, right? And Lori's representing herself. And the interview is actually really interesting. Actually, more interesting than the Dateline interview. Has anybody seen it yet? And they do cut off the interviewer a couple of times for asking questions that obviously there's lawyers standing there, right? Telling Lori, don't talk about that. Because at one point the interview tells Lori, what did you do? Well, your kids are dead. How did you kill them? Or did you kill them? Or whatever, something like that. That's why I wanted to play it so we can comment on it. But this is going to be an interesting trial. You have Diane, and it's going to be an interesting trial. It's going to be, I really think that Lori's going to be a hot mess express. I think she's going to try really hard to hold it together. When you see her in this interview that Arizona family did, and I will try to start playing it, but if we get booed, I don't want to lose my channel, so I'm a little nervous about that. But it clearly, if we're making commentary under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976, this is allowed. But how do you fight something when you're live, doing it live? You know what I mean? Like I can get copyright strike afterwards for content and then argue it. But if they're blanking it out right when it's playing, I'm not sure. But we can try. You saw a little of the Dateline interview. Yeah, I think the Dateline interview was a bummer for Dateline because they had to cut Lori out. And plus they played the whole history. This Arizona family interview that's out right now is actually, the interview is just Lori. And she says a lot of stuff. For example, I wrote a couple of notes. Lori says, well, first of all, she walks in and there's no shackles. And on Dateline, she walked in with shackles. I'm wondering if that was more of a jail criteria or if Dateline's like, no, keep her locked up. We don't trust her. She is a murderer. We want her shackles on. And Keith is going to be in the same room with her, right? This one, she has her hair all done. She's got, I don't know how she's getting her hair done in that terrible jail that she's in because all she does is complain about the horrendous conditions of this particular jail compared to the conditions in Idaho. I'm sorry, princess. It's called jail prison. You know, you're in the high level prison section for people that are murderers. Hello. And she expects it to be, Princess Lori thinks the conditions are terrible. I mean, clearly Lori doesn't understand that maybe they treated her a little better in Idaho. Lucky, lucky. But Arizona is well, first of all, Arizona is a pretty strict red state. And yeah, that's true, Gail. Gayla, she probably does do her own hair since she was a hairdresser. She speaks of that. I was a professional hairdresser. And Arizona, it doesn't put up with crap, obviously. Arizona has been known to be very strict about, prisoners and it's not inhumane what she's complaining about. She just don't like the food. Well, are you being fed, Lori? She doesn't like the way that they don't get outside. She doesn't like the way that she has to be behind bars 23 hours a day. She thinks it's unfair that the other women that are waiting for trial have to wait so long. And in her mind, she is saying that basically this is her mission to be here for these other poor women that are being treated so unfairly. Now, isn't she just the sweetest goddess you could ever imagine? Lori, murder your children, but you're here all about the other murderers and you're just their advocate. Isn't that so sweet of you? Like, cuckoo, priorities. Where are your priorities? You are insane. I mean, evil is as evil does, and this is the evil girl. This girl's evil. So she does that. She's like, I teach them aerobics because, I was an aerobics instructor, fitness instructor, and, we're all behind our own jail bars, but we can talk to each other. I figured she was in there trying to be like all things to all the prisoners. Like, look at us, poor we're so persecuted. Yeah, right? Lori, it's all true. Jail life kind of sucks. I've worked in them. Jail life sucks, Lori. You might have. And she's like, well, I'm old. Well, this is what she said. Something. The question was something like, what do you think you're going to be in? You're going to be in prison for the rest of your life, and how do you feel about that? She's like, well, I'm okay with that. I'm old. I'm 51 years. Is she only 51? What year was she born, you guys? I think she's older than 51. I'll have to check because I don't think I don't know. We'll find. I will look into that because I thought she was closer to 54 by now, but maybe not. Maybe my math is bad. But she's like, I'm old. I'm 51 years old. So I've already lived a good life. I already had my life. Okay. Oh, you're 51. Okay, Granny, let's get your walker. She's so weird. So I really want to try to play this. Let's see what happens. If I disappear, I love you and I'll miss you and I'll start a new channel. I don't know. But let's see what you say. She's working on garnering that following. She can't help herself. Yeah, she thinks that. So wherever she goes now, she thinks that, people are going to bow down to her. And unfortunately, I know, right? Hey, Siri. How old is Lori Vallow? How old is Lori Vallow?
Okay. I found this on the web for how old is Lori Vallow. Check it out.
Well, can't you just answer me? I hate when Siri doesn't just answer the question. She was born in 1973. So she's going to be 52. Right? I guess she's right. I'm wrong. I didn't know she was that much younger than me. Anyway, whatever. I've lived my life. I'm so old. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, so let's give it a whirl. Let's see what happens. I'm going to try to play it. If we get striked, I'm not going to try over and over. We'll just see what happens. Because on Crushes, if it is that, because I don't even know if that's really what was happening. But on Crushes, it would just go a black screen and say there was like a statement that said this violation, this stream is stopped for violation or something like that. So I'm going to try it. I'm nervous, but we're going to try. Let's see. Hold on. Okay. I put my disclaimer up that this is for the fair use copyright law of 1976. So let's see what happens. Hold on, I gotta see. Okay. Okay, wish us luck, guys. I'll stop a lot.
Hi, Lori. Yeah.
Can I put this paper on here? Will it be kind of on the?
Yep. Totally fine.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
I don't know if you'd be like be on camera. My handwriting's really
No, you're
sloppy.
good.
We're rolling.
Okay, so first of all, hair done, no shackles, smiley, smiley. Gail, I really wish they would cut all her hair off and no makeup during her trial. I can see her sweeping it around in front of the male jurors. Like, I'm Lori, right? The whole. Hi, I'm a 51-year-old. Stop. Shut up. Ask questions. Okay, here. There we go. I'm going to stop a lot. So in case that this is the problem with this, streaming it, if it's copyright, so we can really make sure we are doing it as commentary.
I've been so curious to talk to you for a long time. First,
Me too. I'd love to talk to her for a minute, but I wouldn't be as nice as this lady. I'd be like, you're ridiculous. Okay, here we go. That's why I'm not interviewing Lori.
first and foremost, I want to ask you, why did you decide to represent yourself at this trial?
There's lots of reasons. Obviously, being pro per is not an easy job. I'm not an attorney. I don't know.
Yes, you are not an attorney, Lori. You aren't. You got that right. However, she thinks she's very well qualified for this position.
I have training to be an attorney. There's something that I figured out when I got to this jail. You know, this experience has been 5 years running. Okay. I went through a whole trial, you know, before in my other state, and then I was brought here to Arizona to face some more serious charges.
5 years. She's been studying this case for 5 years, so she's an expert. That's what she's going to tell you.
And I came here with the intention of having a speedy trial, right? I wanted to, these charges came first, right? So they're like 5 years old. So I, you know, first talked to the attorneys. I was like, you know,
The charges came first, but the murder was in 2019. So that's 6 years ago, July of 2019.
they've had 5 years, you know, the prosecutor.
The prosecutors have had 5 years to get their crap together to convict me of this crime, and they aren't able to do it. So, you know, here I am.
To put their case together, and I really want to go to trial. Like, we need to go. So I'm in a max pod, you know, with the max women, and there's about 8 women in my pod facing death penalty.
So she's mixed in with women that are in the pod facing the death penalty, and she is now their personal savior.
You know, I was facing the death penalty in Idaho. I was the only one in that jail because it was a very small town and a small jail. But here, these women have been waiting for their trials for 5, 6, 7, 8 years to go to.
These poor women, I am their savior. I am their advocate. They have been waiting to go to trial for 5, 6, 7, 8 years. Well, so have you. I guess that's what you're saying. I'm going to comment a lot, even if it's not super interesting, because I want us to be able to see this, and I don't want to get the strike. So commentary is allowed under the fair use policy of copyright. Okay.
Go to trial in a jail. Okay. And then during this experience, you know, I've been in 4 different facilities during this experience, right? Because I've been shuffled all over the country, right? Came from Hawaii to Idaho to Boise, back and forth. So I've experienced 5 different
5 jails. She's been all over the place. She, poor thing. Well, you ran away to Hawaii. So, you know, you got to experience that because you got arrested when your kids were missing and you wouldn't tell anybody where they were. Very justified. And then how many jails she had to go to in Idaho because they moved her right to Madison County or from the county where the crime was committed to Boise. And 5? Oh, and then prison maybe in Idaho and now to Arizona. Poor thing. Poor thing. Oh goodness, at full force. She better burn up that long hair. The other women can easily pull it, and believe me, they will. Yeah, I mean, I don't know why she thinks she's so the goddess of the jail right now, but she clearly does think that she's put there as their special savior, and it's absolutely insane. Your kids are dead. Hey, hello, lady. Your children are dead. You murdered them, remember? But your whole platform now is to save other murderers. Give me a break. Okay, here we go.
Different facilities now. This is the 5th facility I've been in, and it is the worst.
What exactly about the conditions bothers you the most? Because
the conditions, it's awful. It's jail.
You know, everyone's going to say, what did you expect? You've been convicted of multiple murders. So what were you expecting in this jail?
Well, the people that are in this jail haven't been convicted of anything, that are in the same exact situation as I am. They're innocent.
Oh, everybody there's innocent now. Okay. Everybody's innocent. And Lori Savior Lori is going to be there to help them all through all this. Oh, she has got to be a high maintenance. Oh, yeah. You got that right. Can you imagine? What is this? This is the same thing we ate yesterday. Oh my God. This place is awful. You could get some lessons from Idaho. They at least give me better food and better conditions. And, you know, I can hear it. I can hear it in my head. Okay.
Are innocent right now, and they've been here for 5, 6, 7, 8 years eating slop every day,
Slop.
the same thing every single day, not going out in the sunshine, not having proper medical care, not having.
I love it. Every day eating the same thing, slop. I hope it really is. I hope she's eating slop every day. Oh my God. Okay, what did Gayla? Incarcerated females are very exhausting to supervise. I can only imagine. Females are exhausting to work with as coworkers a lot of times. So I can only imagine the inmates thinking they're superior, thinking, I didn't do anything to get here. You guys are all treating me like crap when, you know, my cat is a pain in the butt. It's going to come in here and cause havoc. So just FYI. Okay, let's go.
Not having proper dental. If something goes wrong with your teeth, you know what the dentist will do from jail? They pull your tooth out. That's it.
So another thing, you know what the dentist will do in jail if something goes wrong with your teeth? They pull your teeth out. Yes, Lori, because dental care is not a right. It's a privilege. I mean, I don't get dental care unless I have a job that gives me decent dental insurance. But you know what? If there's anything more than regular old maintenance for your teeth, like cleaning, I'm sure they'll do that for you. You have to pay a lot of money for root canals and this, that, and the other thing. So I don't know what this girl has walked around life with a silver spoon in her mouth. She has no idea how much things cost or what real life is. I'm convinced of that at this point. You know, people without money get their teeth pulled because they don't have money to pay for these root canals and this, that, you know, I mean, that's just how it works. She's just so frustrating to me because she's so out of touch with reality, but she thinks she's so superior to everyone. And now she's just one of them, one of those persecuted inmates that didn't do anything wrong.
That's it.
So you're fighting for the other inmates here who are waiting for their time in court.
This is what I found out. Arizona different from other states, and I only know the 2 states because I've only dealt with 2 judicial systems, right? Has no intention of giving anybody a speedy trial, even though it's your constitutional federal right.
Really
Oh,
very
shit.
bad.
Sorry. How did I do
Most
that?
because, everyone's going to say, what did you expect?
I messed up.
Well, the people that are in this jail haven't been convicted of anything.
Sorry, I messed
Not
up.
having proper medical care, not having
So you're fighting for the other inmates
I
here who
messed
are
up. I moved it back. Sorry.
right, has no intention of giving anybody a speedy trial, even though it's your constitutional federal right. Okay? So what I am fighting for these women, I'm fighting for these women and trying to set a precedence here.
Not true. In my county jail, they receive medical, dental, and different meals every day if they are undisciplined. Sometimes they are only fed large food wafers with protein and nutrients. But do you think she's exaggerating, Gayla? I think she's exaggerating that they ate the same thing every day. I think she's exaggerating a lot of this. And like I said, I'm sure they do regular dental and cleaning, but dental care is expensive out in the real world. So she's acting like, she deserves all of this when it's whatever their policy is what their policy is. Do you know what I mean? But I do think she's exaggerating quite a bit. I will continue.
Here that you can't just leave these women in jail for years, because the conditions at the prison, if you do get convicted, are a million times better than they are at the jail. Jails are not designed. They're not all over the country. Jails are not designed to let you stay long term. The average person in jail goes 3 months. You're in
Warning, Kathy, the video is going to shut down with the 4 minutes left of viewing. I'm giving you a heads up. Okay, yeah, well, I was watching Krusha and I saw that was going on, but based on the fair use laws of commentary, this is okay to do. So, I was aware that might happen, but we'll see what happens. And if it does, it does. And we'll just come back and talk about it. Thank you. She's not being truthful unless it's different in Arizona. Well, we do know. I know people that have been in jail in Arizona and in prison in Arizona. I'll have to look them up and see what they have to say. Okay, it's been a long time.
You're in there for 8 years. You've had teeth pulled out all over. You don't have any kind of thing that you need here. So I talked to my attorneys and said, I need to go. And they said, we can't do it because I agreed with them, right? Because I said, from their professional stand, they want to go to court prepared, right?
Of course.
She's like, so I'm just going to do them a favor. They want to go to court prepared. So I just took it on myself because I understand how they're busy people and blah, blah, blah.
I'm a hairstylist. I used to charge tons and tons of money in Austin, Texas to do hair. So I'm not going to charge someone $400 to do their hair and let them walk out the door and not let it look good because that's my reputation. So I talked to my attorneys. I said, I understand where you're coming from.
Isn't that nice of her? She understands. Oh, okay. Good point. I will do that if it kicks me out. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
I understand 100%. I don't want to put you in the position where you're saying, I can't do a good job for you. I can't do this for you in this amount of time. But I've been working on my case for 5 years. So I know my case better than an attorney can learn it in 2 years.
True. Maybe those other women didn't waive their right to a speedy trial. Most people don't because they want she's caught up on this speedy trial thing like it's somebody's taking away her right to breathe or this or that. And even the judge told her, Lori, you can't have it both ways. Like you want everything prepared and you want all this information and you want to be able to present your case, but you also want a speedy trial. And this is a complicated case. So you're really not doing yourself any favors. She's not doing herself any favors by being all about this speedy trial. I mean, yes, it's your right to a speedy trial, but how many cases do we even watch where people actually have an actual speedy trial? Her.
2 years. But here's the thing. When you waive your speedy trial, then they can keep you here as long as they want. There are intelligent, strong, beautiful women in here that have been here for 8 years because of family tragedies. It's the same like my case. A family tragedy, not a crime.
Oh, okay. This is a family tragedy, not a crime. All those other women in the jail with her are there because of family tragedies, not a crime. She's insane. Delusional and self-absorbed, building a cult from even a sicker group of women. Exactly, Deborah. That's what she's doing. She's getting everybody on her side. Look at me. I'm here for you. I am the goddess. Like, you're right. That's exactly what she's doing. Excellent point. Very good point. I feel sorry for the judge. He'll need some wine every evening or whiskey. Or a couple shots of something, right? Yeah. Oh my God. Lori Vallow Daybell. Who I feel sorry for the loved ones left behind because of her actions. Exactly. You know, I mean, nobody asked for this. And she had people that loved her. Poor Charles. Like, this is what this case is all about coming up, this trial. And he tried so hard to help her dumbass. And everything was more important. Her being the goddess, being told by Chad that she's a goddess, more important than her children, more important than anything. And all these family members and her son, Colby, it's obviously that she's just an evil person, like so evil. And she has no desire to look at what she did. Nothing at all. She's on this platform for other people now, not for her children, not for her child that's still alive, not for her elderly mother, not for her sister, not for her extended family, friends, people. She is on this platform that I am Lori Vallow Daybell, and I am the goddess of gods, and I am helping all these other persecuted people. She's insane.
A family tragedy, and they're waiting and they're facing the death penalty for a family tragedy. I know these women. I talk to them every day. I try to uplift, strengthen, and help women in this jail, and I think that's the purpose why I'm here.
Okay, there it is. I try to uplift, strengthen these women in this jail, and that is why I'm here. No. You're here because you conspired to murder Charles. If you didn't pull the trigger yourself, which I still have some doubts that you didn't do, and your children. You are a lunatic, lady, in the most evil of ways. Exactly. I mean, it's just insane.
Can you define family tragedy for me?
Yeah.
Obviously, you were convicted of killing your kids. Where does that
Wrongly
disconnect?
convicted.
You believe wrongly convicted.
Absolutely, 100%.
So then how do you address that? You were convicted of it. They're not here. So what happened?
So they don't let her answer this question. She started to open her mouth. I would have loved to hear what she was going to say, but they don't let her answer this question. I'm going to speed a little bit up because they're going to have to move on to another question.
To your point, you're not an attorney.
Correct.
You know your case, but you're not an attorney.
Correct.
How do you expect this is going to work for you next week and in these months to come, acting as your own lawyer?
I have help. I have a wonderful team that I got to hire, which is great. I have my paralegal. That's wonderful. I have my investigator. I have my advisory council that helps me. I'm just going to do the best that I can. That's all I can do. I'm trying to help the women here. Like, something that happens in Arizona that didn't happen in Idaho, something that's different, is there they really respect your right to a speedy trial.
Oh, here we go again. Back to the speedy trial. She is so hyper focused on the speedy trial thing. What can somebody explain to me why this is such her platform, the speedy trial? I mean, what she's been in jail now since 2020, early 2020, and she's all about the speedy trial and for other people. Are these other women? I mean, clearly they were given this option to have a speedy trial or not, but now she's like, Goddess Lori comes in with the super, you didn't get a speedy trial? You didn't get a speedy trial? This is insane. Oh my gosh, your rights are so violated. How come you didn't get a speedy trial? Like, right. This is also what crazy looks like, not just people flipping out. Exactly. Crazy, hyper focused on something that isn't even the point.
And so I wouldn't waive my speedy trial, and they finally pushed it to trial. The judge does go over, and they, for any reason, they can move your speedy trial out, right? But here, the first time you go to court here, if your attorney stands up for you and says, oh, we're going to need more time because you were supposed to go in 4 months, right? You have a certain amount of time and you're supposed to go in 150 days. And if your attorney says that, it automatically waives your right to a speedy trial. So the women that are here and their attorneys say, we're going to help you, we're going to put your case together, we're going to do all this stuff. They didn't know the first time that their speedy trial got waived, because they're like me. I mean, I was 46 years old when I got arrested. I've never been arrested before. I didn't know how the judicial system worked. They're in the same boat. So they didn't actually know at the time that they were waiving their speedy trial right.
I've been in the courtroom for some.
Again, these poor other women that I'm advocating for, they had no idea that it was just this big trick and their speedy trial got waived, their rights. It is the weirdest thing that this is the hill she's dying on right now. Like, it is just so crazy to me.
For some of this, and then I've watched it as well. When you're addressing the judge and the state,
Oh, that's a good point.
You can get a little snappy with them. And I know you're upset with what you feel as witnesses that are being precluded from the trial. What's your biggest complaint? What do you want to see happen? And is that the tone that you want to take throughout this trial?
Good question. She tells her you can get a little snappy. Yes, Princess can get a little bit snippy snappy, and I can't wait to see how much that happens during the actual trial when they're going objection to everything she says. She is going to lose her mind with all the objections. She does. Okay, yeah, she does. Yeah, never arrested before she met Chad. Oh, she's going to try to appeal, but you know what? I don't think it's going to be as easy as she seems to think, right? Or she's going to set up all these other women that they can have an appeal because they're convinced that. I can only imagine being the lawyer for all these other women there, and they're like, oh, I found out that I waived my right to speedy trial and you didn't tell me. Oh, she's probably causing all kinds of havoc in between the inmates there.
I don't think that I'm trying to set a tone. That's not my intention, is to set a tone. And I'm not a fighter, okay? So my whole life, I've been a peacemaker. I'm a person that loves everybody. I'm a person that gets along with everybody. I don't like to fight. So this is a challenge for me to even fight for myself, to fight for these women, to kind of stand up for the first time in my life, because I'm kind of been, I'm a people pleaser by nature. And it's been really difficult for me, but there's so many wrongs in the system.
Now, I've heard other people say that about her in interviews, that she's a people pleaser by nature. She's also a people pleaser to get her way. Like, she knows how to manipulate. I don't really think she's an actual people pleaser, that she wants to make you happy or me happy or this person happy. She wants to make the people happy and please them if they can give her something that she wants. That's how I see this, not like an actual, like, I'm a people pleaser and I'm exhausted because all I'm doing is helping other people and I'm not looking at myself, you know. Left Undone. The only thing Lori has to do as her own attorney is create reasonable doubt, except for she's the only one who doesn't know that. Really hope and pray the other, right? That is a good point. She uses the word intention a lot. Yeah, she has her little phrases in intention. Yeah, she does do that. All right, here we go.
System, there's certain things that your attorneys won't say for you, because here's the problem. Your attorneys, they're professionals, right? So they're colleagues with the prosecutors, they're colleagues with the judges. And I get that because I've worked in a professional environment, so I get that. You have to be, they argue their points and then they go out to lunch.
Nothing against hairstylists, but I think the professional environment are completely different. I wouldn't say that my professional environment as a nurse is the same as a professional environment as an attorney or a hairdresser, so I mean, she should have stuck with that though. It would have done her a lot better in the long run. I'm sure she was a very good hairdresser. She seems to be very, into what she does, and I've heard that from people that she was a very good hairdresser. She should have kept that as her calling. Inmates don't listen to her. Their cases are going to get inmates don't listen to her. Their cases are going to get all jacked up. Lori is the last person they should listen to. Please, yeah, right, exactly. Especially if you're innocent. Don't do it. Like if you're really truly innocent, la 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 la. Put your headphones on if they let you have any.
I get that, right? I'm not doing that. I'm fighting for my life here, really.
There's this notion from people in the public that feel you're representing yourself because you have nothing to lose, that this is a challenge, kind of a show, a game for you. Do you agree with that?
I never hear any of this stuff because I'm in a room 23 hours a day and we don't have any access to any kind of news. So, or any kind of anything, really.
But she said she's watched all these interviews, right? Didn't she say she watched a bunch of interviews so I don't know. She's acting like she's out on another, not getting access to anything, which would be better in my opinion. Don't give her access to anything.
So I didn't know that people were saying that, but I wouldn't agree with that, obviously.
What's your mindset going into trial? What do you believe now, and how do you feel as we're just a couple days away?
A little bit stressed.
It's a big case.
It's a big case. It's stressful. There's a lot of things. There's a lot of legal things that have to be done. We're working on stuff every day. We're working late into the night. The biggest challenge for me in this trial will be the logistics. I want to be able to go and talk to the people who have stood up and lied about me. I get to face them face to face. I think that's important. So the hardest thing is here, they wake you up at 3 o'clock in the morning.
See, that she wants to face the people that have lied about her. So my first person that comes in my head is Kay Woodcock, right? She wants to face the people that have lied about her. She's gonna get objection. It's gonna frustrate her. She's gonna try to get things out that shouldn't get out. She's gonna make herself look like a damn fool up there representing herself. And the poor jury is gonna have to live through this. And so are we, because we're gonna watch. She is an evil, face-melting waste of space, lying liar. Excellent. Very good way of putting it.
In the morning to go to court every single day.
She has to get up at 3 a.m. every morning to go to court. You would have been able to sleep in if you would have stayed married to Charles, not killed people.
and you sit and you sit and you sit and you wait, but you're woken up and you're transported and you're getting back to the jail at like 5 and 6 o'clock at night. I'm going to have to prep for the next day for my witnesses. I'm going to have to meet with people. I'm going to have my, paralegal's going to come over. We're going to get paperwork ready. We're going to get, our stuff ready for the next day. So the hardest thing, it'll be lack of sleep. Nobody does good with lack of sleep.
Are you worried about?
Okay, so then when she gets confused or frazzled, she's going to blame it on the lack of sleep during the trial, right? Yeah, I like my sleep. I'm not going to argue with that one. But
The legal things you don't know?
Obviously, there's lots of legal things that I don't know. I have been studying. I've been studying a lot, the law. I've been studying it for 5 years. I've been talking with attorneys. I had a team of 11 people in Idaho, some really, really smart people. People were brought in all over the country from different states and everything because I was a death penalty case. And so I learned from a lot of people, and I'm a smart person, and I paid attention.
I'm a smart person, but I follow Chad Daybell's lead because he told me I'm a goddess, Carolina, that she doesn't have a clue how to do. She is going into this with a personal chip on her shoulder. That's not what a courtroom is for. She should try writing letters and making calls, right? This is going to be just insane. I know she had a lot of things that she wanted to say in her trial in Idaho, and she wasn't allowed to express them. So she's going to try to get stuff out that shouldn't be coming out. And she's going to mess her own. She's going to be found guilty. This is such a waste of money and time, but whatever. We'll let it be the Lori show if it's going to be the Lori show. But let's just hope that she makes a damn fool of herself, which so far, I think she is. She's going to have to. Well, too bad, so sad, because Charles, Tylee, and JJ will never get to do anything again because of you. Very good point. Yep. Poor Lori. Poor Lori, the victim.
I consider myself an intelligent person, like a lot of these other women here in this jail. And, we're trying to do the best that we can. I know it's not going to be perfect the way an attorney would do it. So that's when people say, like, she has nothing to lose. Like, I don't necessarily think that I'm going to do a better job than the attorneys can do. That's not my intention. My intention is to say the things that I would say for myself. I sat there during a whole trial and I discussed a lot of things with my attorneys and asked them to say very specific certain things that were important to me, just as a person, as a human being. These things are important that you say this for me, and they wouldn't say it. So, and I get the professionalism.
Say, that's it. I wanted them to say things that I wanted them to say for me. And they were like, no, lady, this is a court of law. We do it the right way. And she's like, they wouldn't say what I wanted them to say. That's why she made her big, long, nobody was murdered speech. And then her whole big old lie about dying when Tylee was born and all that crap that she said, that is literally the way she explains that is absolutely impossible. Was a labor and delivery nurse for 14 years. She didn't die, get something in her IV, and then they continued to deliver the baby. That doesn't work like that. So, all the crap that comes out of her mouth, that she thinks she's the smartest person in the room, and she thinks she's smarter than, people that have these other professions, and the stories she tells. And I don't know if people actually all her life had just listened to her exaggerations and her nonsense, and she thought, look how smart I am. But she's not that smart. I don't care what she said. She's not stupid, but she's not that smart. Clearly, if she was smart, she wouldn't be representing herself right now.
And I get what they're doing, but sometimes you just have to be able to do it for yourself.
You want to be your own voice.
Yeah.
Going over your case and all of it for years, it seemed like you had the life that so many wanted in Arizona. You had it all.
I loved our life here. Yeah.
Why are we here? Like, why are we at the place we're at now? You had that life. Why throw it away?
It's tragedy. Families have tragedies. Things happen, and there was a domino effect of tragedies in my life, and that's really sad.
And it wasn't her. The tragedies, all these tragedies had nothing to do with Lori. They just fell from the sky. Family tragedies. Like, she acts like these are like car accidents and tornadoes and earthquakes and plane crashes. Like, dude, seriously. No, Lori. Lori, you are the common denominator in all of it. Common denominator. There was no tragedy. There was guns and weapons and children and manipulation. Ugh, I can't with her. I swear to God. 5 years of my life spending watching this woman.
What do you describe that domino effect of what?
It's probably something that we should save for next time.
Do you still believe in those things of the dark and the light spirits and the zombies? Is that still part of your belief system, or have you changed your beliefs?
Oops, they muted her here. They muted her here. I want to know what she has to say. Dang, they mute her on the questions that I really want to hear the answers to. Do you still believe in dark and light spirits and this and that? Yeah, she does. Come on. Of course she does. She does. The cross-examination with Kay will be explosive. She will try and burn Kay, but Kay will go toe-to-toe with her. It's just gonna be interrupted the entire time. Objection, 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 objection. You know, every time Lori tries to spit something out, they're gonna object and they're gonna sustain the objection. She's not gonna be able to do what she wants to do. It's gonna be a lot of like, zip it, sister, in legal terms. No, they weren't everyday tragedies. She's such a fool. Fool! Woman, you're a fool. Okay, I'm getting a little, my blood pressure, I should check it. Where's my blood pressure cup? They're like, don't talk about that. They're muting it. Whatever they're saying is being muted.
Do you consider you and Chad still together?
Sure, of course.
And how is that going to work with you? He's on death row and you are in prison for life. How do you continue that relationship, that marriage?
In the best way that you can, the only way that you can.
Through portals. I'm just saying. Hi, Tori. How are you? Through portals, right? The only way you can keep your marriage with Chad is the way you started out when you were having the affair, through those stupid closet portals. Do they have a closet in her pod?
What do you think people have wrong about you?
Pretty much everything.
Like what?
Specifically, I don't really know what people think, because I don't have access to the kind of media that you guys are watching all these things. I never get to watch anything. So I hear things from different people. I get text messages from people saying, oh, so-and-so said such and such. And I'm like, okay, I don't have access to what the people know. So I kind of can't clear it up, because kind of don't know what it all is.
If you could clear something up right now, what would it be?
That I love everybody. That I'm here for a purpose. I think, God put me here in this jail.
See, this is her life's purpose. Being in that jail to help other criminals instead of being the mother that she should have been. Wife she should have been. The hairdresser she should have been, Freaking weirdo.
Jail, the worst jail in the country, they say, and I really can't argue it. But when I got here, the girls are like, did you know that you got brought to the worst jail in the country? And I was like, I can't argue that it's not. But he brought me here to help uplift and strengthen these women. And that's what I try to do every day. I taught,
Isn't she a saint? Like, isn't that special? That's her new mission in life. She's there to help those other criminals. Man, she gave up everything for this. I'm being super sarcastic right now because she's so fucking annoying. Shit, sorry. I just put two swear words. I'm sorry. Me too. She's very annoying. Oh, I can't with her. Oh my God, I can't. Okay.
Certified group fitness instructor, and I worked here at Fitness Works and taught aerobics. And so to the girls every day, we laugh together, we cry together, we pray together, we, you know, cell doors, right? Like each of us get out an hour a day and we can talk to each other through the door. You know, we have to take our shower and whatever. But this jail, you know, some days you'll be in your cell for 3 days. They go on lockdown and you don't get out for 72 hours. You're just in your room. So I'm here to help strengthen these other women. You know, sometimes God needs.
Oh my God, with this other women thing, it is making me crazy. Like for real. Oh, I want to slap her. Like, I knew she would be on some freaking mission like that, though. I knew that's how she's going to justify all this. Like, I had it in my head, like, I'm sure she's talking, getting all these other women in the jail on her side. I knew it. And this is exactly what she's doing. That's what I thought she would do. But now that she's verbalizing it so much, I just want to smack her in the head.
I need somebody to go into the trenches. And I think he put me here for that purpose.
A follow-up question to what you said, that you love everybody. Does that include your children?
Absolutely. I love my children. I've always loved my children. There's never been a question.
Even being convicted of killing them?
Wrongly? Of course.
Do you plan to take the stand yourself in your own trial?
Haven't decided yet. Don't need to decide that. Legally, you don't have to decide. So we're going to see how it goes.
And that would be a situation if you did decide where your investigator or somebody would ask the questions to you on the stand?
Yes.
Okay. That was my understanding too. I just want to make sure I was correct on that as well.
Well, my understanding is that the advisory council would have to do that. Yeah. But I would have to write the questions. They can't ask me anything that I don't.
And you have to pre-submit those. You can't just go up there and say what you want.
Correct. That's my understanding.
That was my
of the law.
understanding. That was my understanding as well. This is probably one of the more unprecedented situations. You were involved in choosing your own jury. As a non-attorney, what was that process like for you?
That was an interesting process.
Well, I wanted boys, number one. And I picked ones that looked at me like they thought I was pretty. Okay.
Process. I mean, it went way better than I thought it was going to go. The process in Idaho is so different. It was interesting for me because it was so different. And I have had that experience. So I was like, I kind of know what's going to happen here. But every state is different, right? Every county is different. Everyone's going to have their own rules of how they did it. I have to say that I was pleasantly surprised that the judge was very fair in doing the jury selection in some ways. So I think it went really well. It went really fast. I didn't expect that. I thought it would take a long time. So I feel like it went as well as it could go.
Are you nervous for Monday?
See how it goes. I try not to get nervous about things and go with the flow as much as possible. It's not just Monday. It's like it's every day. It's going to be day after day. So I got to kind of pace myself and just do the best that I can.
Do you believe you can convince this jury, to find you not guilty?
I don't think I'm there to convince anybody. I think I'm there to just tell the truth.
Wouldn't that be your goal, though, as your defense attorney, to be found not guilty?
I think that's
Wouldn't that be your good goal, to be found not guilty, Lori? It's more about the show, I think. That's my opinion.
goal. Yeah, that's the goal of everybody. But I'm not trying to convince anybody. I'm defending myself against being wrongfully accused. So
Wrongfully accused of Charles' death as well?
Absolutely.
What do you want the jury to take away from you?
It's gone. The pink portal potty is gone. It's probably because it only lets me have so many emojis with my members. We need more members to get the pink portal potty back. Great observation, Amber. Lori thinks it went really well because she chose more men over women. Yeah. Oh, and really well. All I had to do was flip my hair.
during this trial?
I don't know that they can.
But many of those men have children, and many of those men have seen evil women. So, you know, I think she's gambling on that one, right?
Take anything away. I mean, I don't really have an answer for that. I haven't really thought about it from that perspective.
Are you prepared for a life behind bars?
Sure.
How? What do you do to prepare that to be the rest of your life?
My life is mostly over because I'm 51 years old.
Thank you for the super sticker, Hope. I appreciate it very much. Very, very, very much. Thank you so much. My life, she says, my life is mostly over because I'm 51 years old. That cracks me up. Lori, I'm 10 years older than you, and I feel like I got a lot of life left to live here. So she's stupid dumb.
I'm a mother and a grandmother and all those things.
Are you a mother? Really? Well, maybe to Colby, but I think he's pretty much not claiming you as a mother at this point. So thank you, Hope. I appreciate it. Thanks. I'm glad to be here. I'm going to try to get back on track these days with my lives. Thank you.
Things I've had a wonderful life. I did have a wonderful life for, you know, a long time. So it's just a different life, you know. In my faith, we're called on missions to go do things, you know. And I've had this kind of scenario in my mind that I was like, if, you know, my bishop called me in and said, you know, we have this really hard calling for you. It's going to be for the rest of your life. And you're going to go into this prison and where all these women are, and you're going to help and uplift and strengthen women and give them faith and help them carry on and do these things and help them get ready for when they get out of prison. But you're going to be there all the time and you're going to be there for the rest of your life. Will you accept this calling?
Would you say yes?
Absolutely.
So you feel this is kind of a newfound purpose with the situation you're in?
Absolutely.
What do you want to impress upon people that have followed you in your case?
I mean, yeah, look at me. I'm the martyr. This is my calling to help all these other women. Oh, God, she makes me mad. Tori, Colby can't stand you, wants nothing to do with you, Grandma. Exactly. I'm a mom. I'm a grandma. Did she say wife too? Because I missed it if she did, but I wouldn't be surprised if she did because, you know, Chatty Daddy is her husband. They can visit through the portal. And exactly, Gayla. She's a Looney Tunes. She's got it all in her own head that this is her mission in life now. Just like it was her mission to murder people. That was her mission too. Family, now it's twisted as family tragedy. Bingo, exactly, Kathy. She won't be able to sway the men on her jury. A mother would never do what she did, and we all know Colby will never allow her to know his children. Absolutely. She is Looney Tunes. She lives in a bubble of some sort. Really weird one. Her deflection and sense of grandeur is true. Psychopathic. Yeah, she is a psychopath. She really is. Oh, I'm here for this. Look at me, Sandra D. I am the savior of all these women in prison. Oh, my children? Yeah, my mother. Oh, no, I can't talk about that, you know. Oh, yeah, Chaddy's still my husband. Oh. I was raised LDS. My family has been since the very beginning of the church. So you know that she's decided that her bishop would come to her and say, you need to go be in this prison and commit crimes and be in this prison to advocate for these prisoners. The stuff she justifies in her head is absolutely ridiculous. Unbelievably ridiculous.
For years. Like right now, we've got a few minutes left. I want to know, what should the public know about Lori that they don't know?
That I am a Christian person, that
God,
I
no, you're not.
love the Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, and that I'm here on earth to do whatever he needs me to do.
I really appreciate your time.
Yeah,
I will.
Blasphemy. She's ridiculous. Miss Christian person. Yeah. Too bad Jesus can't come down and stand right in front of her right now and be like, lady, no, you're not.
We'll see you in the courtroom on Monday.
All right. We made it through. We got through that and we got to watch the whole thing. So at least we did it. If they strike me, it might come down and there might not be a replay crew, but that's okay. So it's going to be an interesting trial. I really wish I could go. I don't have anybody to really watch my mom, and I got to work. And so I will be doing lives after work this week. You're welcome. Right. LDS does not believe in killing or in zombies. Exactly. You're very welcome, Diane. I know no emotion for family tragedy. She said they were. She's so messed up. Yeah, she's freaking Looney Tunes. Those aren't family tragedies. Family tragedies are, car accidents and cancer diagnoses and airplane crashes and accidental overdoses and suicides, and not you plotting with Chad Daybell to murder your own children, to plot with him to murder Charles, to plot with everybody to shoot at Brandon and get rid of him. That is not family tragedy, girl. Yes, it does. And I think it is at 10. So it'll be 10 Pacific time that it starts. So it will be, I'm not sure how long it goes every day. Right? Why nobody asked her about the fact that Tylee died before JJ. Now that's the big question too, because she tries to blame Tylee. She tried to do that a couple times now. And I heard that she tried to do that with Keith Morrison, and they just edited it all out. So I'm curious, because she wasn't as sassy with this lady at all like she was with Morrison. But Keith, were you there? Were you there? When he asked about Chad labeling people dark and light. Did you hear him say that? Nope. It's written. It's on paper. It's found in computers. Yeah, I heard no court on Fridays. It's Monday through Thursday. So I don't know. I'm racking my brains to try to get from my house to that courthouse is a 3 hour and 45-minute drive. I wish I could go, but I'm really having FOMO. I really want to go. We can all see by these interviews with Lori that she is only concerned with one thing, and it's her. She is going to be put to shame. The wicked always do. Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's gonna, the trial's gonna be a hot mess for her. She's gonna get I can see it in my head that she's gonna get super frustrated. Even when she was questioning jurors and stuff, she had some moments. So I think she's gonna get really frustrated. What is this? I see something here on my computer. Hold on, I'm just fighting for my life. Oh, it's an interview. Lori Vallow gives final interview before the trial airs on Family. That's one. I didn't hear her say that she's fighting for her life. Maybe I did. Missed that one. Cuckoo. My mouse is doing weird things. Both her and Chad were stupid enough to believe they can get away with all of it, even burying children in his backyard. The stupidity. It is ridiculous. That still blows my mind, as like, thank goodness they're the dumbest criminals on the planet, because otherwise, who knows? Kids, Heaven and hubby as two as well as one wifey. Rest in peace. Exactly. Is the media allowed to live stream trial? Yes. In a sense, there will be a 30-minute delay, but it will be live streamed. So if I didn't have to work, we could watch it together. But I am gonna watch it after work, and I will live stream like parts of it as much as I can after later in the day. So if the rest of you work, come on over here later because we'll pop it up and see what we can see. At least we can fast forward through like the pauses and stuff at that point. She brutalized daughter, son, hubby, wifey. Yes, she's a monster. Core TV has the only camera and the others will plug into it. There will be a 30-minute delay to make sure nothing that shouldn't be broadcast would get out. Yeah. Yep. All right. So that'll be Monday. I will be back here on Monday night and somehow, some way, we'll pop it up and we'll talk about it. So if anybody's around Monday night, let's do it together. Thank you, Left Undone. I enjoy that you're back. You're very welcome. I enjoy being back. I'm glad to be back. You are one of the very first channels I went to get all the information on Chad, Lori, especially when the kids were still missing. I appreciate you. Thank you. Yeah, we were all on it, weren't we? This was like a big thing. It was so tragic to find that they were not alive, but I think my very first video on this case was January of 2020, highlighting when Charles was shot, the kids were missing, the interviews with Kay and Larry Woodcock. It was all that was out there at that point was the news media, like the Fox Phoenix news media was following the case a bit, and then East Idaho News was following the case, and we were right there from the beginning. So I am happy that there's so many of you OGers with me here. Carolina, Carrie, Gayla, there's a bunch of you that have been here since the get-go, and I appreciate you, Amber. Great, good. Thanks for being here, you guys. All right, I will let you go. Go enjoy your Saturday. I'm going to go let my dog out because he is right here between my legs going, let me out, I gotta go potty. And we will see you on Monday night, okay? I will set up a live. I'm glad we were able to watch that interview together. We'll see what happens. If you're here watching the replay and you got this far, yay, because I have a feeling they may take it down. But we got it. We went through it. We're here. Thank you. I appreciate you all. Please stay safe. Stay well, and I'll be back soon. Bye.